Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and this is the Eats of New York. I am right outside Cooperstown, and we've been in New York for about a week touring around, and we have had awesome food all over the place. So I wanted to go through some of our favorites, and Lord knows you New Yorkers have got some opinions. So if I missed something or you think something else should be on this list, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I'm going to start with my family's favorite, buffalo wings, or as they're called around here, just wings. Because, you know, they're invented in Buffalo, and we had them at several places. As a matter of fact, we had buffalo wings 3 nights in a row for dinner. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of hot sauce. We came up with, we like the sauce at Anchor Bar best, and Duff's crispiness second best. So go ahead, tell me what your favorite wings are in the state of New York. On that note, all of our wings were served with blue cheese, not ranch, and the blue cheese dressings, I swear they all made them in-house because dang were they good. I just thought I'd give you that little extra on the wings part. So we really can't talk about New York without talking about New York style pizza. New York style pizza, if y'all don't know, well, you need to get out more. But it's just really thin crust pizza, and it's a giant slice. And the proper way to eat it is to fold it in half and devour it. There are also other styles of pizza in the state of New York. There's a buffalo style. Another fun pizza thing we had was pizza rolls, and they're sort of like an egg roll, but inside there's a little pizza sauce, and there's pepperoni and this gooey cheese. It's a fun way to eat your pizza. Just a little bit different than New York style, of course. So another something that is original to the state of New York is Thousand Island dressing, and you may not know that, but there are a lot of different stories about who invented it, how it came to be, and where it came from. But I'm pretty sure, however that happened, it came from the Thousand Island region of New York. When you come to New York, you should totally get a roast beef sandwich, but not any roast beef sandwich. You should get a beef on weck. Beef on weck is horseradish, roast beef, and it's all on this super soft, really tasty Kimmelweck bread bun. It's just a bun, but it's not just a bun. It's got seeds and things on top of it, and it's just so light and airy and super soft, and oh my gosh. You can leave the au jus behind. It might be served with it, but you really don't need it because there's just the bread so soft, and oh, just get yourself a beef on weck. New York, particularly the city, is really known for their amazing delis, right? And pastrami on rye is one of those specialties. I totally think you should get it. I love pastrami. It's like one of my favorite deli sandwiches anywhere, but it's especially particular around New York. So, as we travel around New York, there is something special called a garbage plate. Doesn't sound very special, does it? This originated in Rochester, New York, and it's kind of like a picnic on a plate. You've got macaroni salad or baked beans, definitely some fried potatoes, and some form of meat. Basically, it's just a whole pile of food on a plate. And it's kind of like something you should eat in the summer in my mind. I don't know. Anyway, it may sound like garbage, but it's actually not garbage. So probably the most mundane thing I'm going to tell you about is salt potatoes. It's just potatoes with salt. That's all I have to say about that. Something I've never seen or heard elsewhere is the word Spiedies. Actually, I had to make sure I was saying it right and ask somebody. Spiedies is basically just grilled, marinated meat served on really thick bread, maybe a roll, and usually it's chicken, but you'll find it in other forms too occasionally. So that's something that is like really regional to this area. So I don't think that you can talk about food in New York without talking about hot dogs in New York City primarily, right? There's like 1,000 different kinds, and you can make up your own kind, but I think that you have to have a New York City hot dog when you're in New York. Like it's just indicative of any time that you spend in the city, you must have a hot dog. So there you go. So let's talk about sweets in New York. One that I find interesting is sponge candy. Not spongy. In the inside, it's like caramelized brown sugar and some other things. Kind of looks like a honeycomb on the inside, and then it's all dipped in chocolate. So it's sugary, it's crunchy, and it's really sweet. And one of our family's favorite desserts in New York is grape pie. Actually, Mark's great aunt has been making grape pie since forever, and we didn't really realize where it came from because nobody where we live makes grape pie, but it's very much a thing from New York. And of course, the most famous dessert from New York is New York style cheesecake. You can have it everywhere. I've had it in Europe. I've had it in South America. But you know what? You really have to have it in New York. That's the law. I made up that law, but you should really do it. So my second favorite dessert right behind New York style cheesecake is the black and white. If you've never had a black and white cookie, you absolutely have to get one. They're a shortbread cookie and they're dipped half in chocolate fondant and the other half is vanilla, and it sounds so simple, but they are so darn tasty and you really absolutely should try one. So now that we've gone through all the main stuff and the desserts, let's talk about drinks. We'll start with stuff for the kids. Loganberry soda is something particular to Western New York, but you can find it in other places and it's just something kind of different. So maybe get you some of that and try that. And then for the adults, there's a lot of wineries in New York. I mean, who would have thunk, right? We actually stopped at one the other day and with the kids, and they had stuff for the kids to do. And it was like this whole family affair, and they had wine tastings. And of course you could buy wine and take it home with you to go. So that's what we did. And we just bought a couple of wines just to see what New York wine was going to be like. And there were a couple that we really liked. So check out some New York wines while you're at it. Those wineries are really popular around the Finger Lakes, which, by the way, if you haven't visited the Finger Lakes, it's a really beautiful area, and there's so many little lakes and there's so much space on them. You can definitely find a place to stay and hang out and have like a really nice, quiet weekend on the lake. So those are my eats of New York. And like I said, I know New Yorkers are opinionated and you got your own things to add in there. So please do tell us what else you'd like to see in a video like this, and just what you think is absolutely necessary to eat when you're in the state of New York. So I'll say bon appetit from just north of Cooperstown.